During the wedding vows, the groom's ex leapt up, crying desperately, "You can't marry her! I'm your destiny!" The room fell silent. The bride turned gracefully, a slight smile playing on her lips. "You were just the warm-up round, but I'm the final battle!" The guests erupted in cheers as the ex fled in shame. This perfect comeback became wedding legend. This sand, pure and unpolluted. At the border checkpoint, the man patted two dust-covered bags on his shoulders, his faded bicycle gleaming faintly in the sunlight. The guard smirked, pulling out a military knife and swiftly slicing open the bags. After a whole night of inspection and analysis, the result remained the same, just ordinary sand. This confrontation repeated itself. Day after day, the guard searched the bags thoroughly, questioned every detail, but never found anything suspicious. After 3 years, the man suddenly disappeared. One stuffy afternoon, the guard encountered his old acquaintance in a shabby Texas diner. "Listen, buddy, you must have been smuggling something all these years. This mystery is driving me crazy. Just between us, what were you really moving?" The man took a leisurely sip of his coffee, a knowing smile playing at his lips. "Bicycles? I'm pregnant." The 18-year-old's words explode like a bomb at the dinner table. Her mother's face drains of color as she rushes frantically to the pharmacy. The 2 red lines on the pregnancy test appear like a death sentence, prompting her mother to burst into tears. "Who's the scoundrel who ruined your life?" "I must know." The girl, expressionless, picks up the phone and dials a number she knows by heart. 30 minutes later, a gleaming Ferrari glides into the modest neighborhood like an elegant panther stalking through common streets. A distinguished gentleman with graying temples steps out gracefully. He enters the cramped living room, his calm gaze sweeping over the agitated parents and their downcast daughter. "I fully understand the situation, but cannot marry due to family circumstances. However, I'll take full responsibility. A girl child will receive 2 prime location shops, a downtown apartment, a beach villa, and a $1 million deposit. A boy will inherit 2 profitable factories and $2 million. If there's an unfortunate miscarriage, what do you suggest I do?" The silent father gives his sturdy shoulder a meaningful pat and says, "Then try again." "Fake money? She's all lies." My aunt's fury exploded in my ear. My cousin had asked to borrow $300 for rent, but truth was, she wanted to bail out her husband for a birthday reunion. Though her deception infuriated me, I reflected that life's struggles spare no one. I decided to lend her the money. My cousin, elated at the news, rushed over immediately. Hours later, a call from the prison shattered the calm. Through the receiver came my cousin's piercing sobs. "Why did you give me counterfeit money?" I replied softly. "Now you can celebrate his birthday together in jail, can't you?" On their honeymoon night, as moonlight filtered through the curtains, the bride whispered a confession by the bedside. "Darling, before our marriage, I must tell you something. I had a brief affair with someone." "Who?" the husband asked softly. "Tiger Woods, the golf champion," she murmured. The husband took a deep breath. "Well, he's handsome and wealthy. I can understand that." They soon lost themselves in passionate embrace. After their first intimate encounter, the husband reached for the phone. "What are you doing?" she inquired. "Calling room service, I'm famished." His wife smiled coyly. "Tiger wouldn't do that. He'd return for more." The husband raised an eyebrow before returning to bed. Following their second round, as he attempted to reach the phone again, she used Tiger's name to dissuade him, and he once more demonstrated remarkable stamina. Exhausted after their third passionate session, he crawled toward the phone. "Still ordering food?" she asked languidly. He panted, shaking his head. "No, I need to ask Tiger what's the damn pair for this whole—" "I'll have you roasted and eaten." roared the tribal chief, his spear pressed against the missionary's throat. Just a year ago, this white-skinned preacher had earnestly spread Christianity, warning against intimacy with others' spouses. Now, the chief's wife had given birth to a white-skinned infant, and on this isolated island, he was the only white man. Facing the threat, the missionary remained remarkably calm, even managing a slight smile. "This isn't my doing. Nature frequently produces genetic variations, and albinism isn't rare. Look at that flock of sheep grazing peacefully. Notice the black one among them? Where do you suppose it came from?" The chief froze, his gaze shifting between the white infant and the black sheep, before thoughtfully conceding, "Very well, I'll stay quiet about the white child if you never mention that black sheep." During a routine check, the officer points to his device. "Sir, you were doing 90 miles per hour. The man quickly defends. "I set the cruise control to 60, his wife chuckles. "Darling, don't pretend our car doesn't have cruise control." The man glares at his wife. "Can't you keep quiet?" She calmly replies, "Good thing the radar alert went off or you'd be going even faster." As the officer writes a second ticket, the man growls at his wife again. The officer notices, "Sir, not wearing a seatbelt is a $50 fine." "I removed it to get my license," the man claims. His wife adds, "He never wears his seatbelt while driving." While writing the third ticket, the man angrily orders his wife to be quiet. The officer asks concernedly, "Ma'am, does he always speak to you this way?" "Only when he's been drinking," she responds.
On my first day, my trembling hand sent steaming coffee cascading across the president's mahogany desk, documents soaked through like watercolors, as coffee dripped steadily off the edge. While everyone held their breath, he simply smiled. Quite a special baptism for my desk. Welcome aboard. A month later, watching a colleague get berated for a 5-minute tardiness left me puzzled. During lunch break, a senior co-worker shared the truth in hushed tones that spilled coffee had destroyed a $100,000 contract but uncovered a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. From then on, I became the office's accidental champion, marveling at the peculiar twists of fate.
On his deathbed, an elderly man lay with his devoted wife by his side. Among their 3 children, Steve, the youngest, bore no resemblance to his siblings, a doubt that had always lingered. Gazing at his wife, he whispered, "Darling, as life ebbs away, I must know, is Steve truly mine?" His wife promised softly, "I swear he is your son." The man passed peacefully, looking at his lifeless face. She murmured, "Thank heavens he never asked about the other 2. A married man entered the confessional, admitting to his priest, "I nearly had an indiscretion with another woman." When questioned, he explained they had intimate contact, but stopped short. The priest declared this equally sinful, ordering 5 Hail Marys and a $50 donation to the poor box as penance. After his prayers, the man paused at the poor box before turning to leave. The priest rushed over, pointing out the missing donation. The man replied calmly, "I rubbed the bill against the box. By your logic, that's equivalent to putting it in."